Happy 4th of July, everyone. I'm up here at Artist Point, and I'm finishing up my workout for the day, which involves a lot of cycling and skiing. I've biked up this road 6 times, 2 miles, and then I skied down blueberry chutes, and I'm going to upload that video. And I'm not going to show you guys all 6 laps, because otherwise it'll just be way too long of a video, but I figure I'll do kind of like a highlights thing. And yeah, it definitely felt good to just get out of the city. It's been kind of a struggle as of lately, and that's really what I want to talk about. Is I know in a lot of my videos it seems like I'm doing pretty good, I'm happy, but it's also important to remember that I am still currently fighting those inner demons. I've probably been having some of my deepest lows I've had of all time. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of just coming out of a major depressive episode, and I figure I've been really fighting it because I figure, okay, I've done a lot of therapy, and I've tried out a bunch of different medications, over the past several years now, I guess you could say, and all efforts have pretty much been futile. And I figure it's important that I really get this depression and anxiety under control, because from my experience, a lot of people who suffer from really debilitating depression, anxiety, and if they're in a relationship, it falls apart. And I know this just from plain observation. And I've seen it. It happened, I saw it happening last summer, and unfortunately it resulted in dire consequences. And I'm going to blog about that later on when I feel the time's appropriate. But really, I am determined to really kind of get a grip on this, because as I said, I've been having, I'm just coming out of a major, probably one of the worst major depressive episodes I've been in, and although it doesn't seem like it in my videos, keep in mind that's only like a snapshot of my life. And I don't make a lot of videos really talking about my emotion, because I don't want to be known, I don't want to really have that label. But I also feel like there's got to be more awareness needs to be brought about mental illness, because like with cancer, when you hear stories about people overcoming cancer, you get a lot of support, and rightly so, because it's a tough thing to battle through. And mental illness is just like any other disease. The problem is people cannot see it. You really have to experience it firsthand to really know what it's like. And what I've decided to do is, since all therapy has pretty much been futile, I haven't really had any luck with medications, and I really want to start making friends. I've decided this summer I'm going to start going on a spiritual journey. And it's going to start off very slow, very very easy. And that peak you see behind me, there's a spot about 3/4 of a mile way back there. It used to be my go-to spot. I call it my special area, because it used to be my go-to spot where I could ski year-round, every month of the year. And unfortunately, a few summers ago, we had a really hot summer, and it melted it out. And so I can actually no longer ski that area of the mountain, unless I do it during the winter months. But it still has a really special place in my heart, and that's where I'm going to go to, where I'm going to start doing some meditation, very short meditations at first, and then gradually work up, because I feel like it's all going to come down to altering my reality. And I know that sounds really wacko when I talk about like altering my reality, but I'm talking some pretty deep stuff. I'm talking like actually where I'm meditating to a point where I imagine like even like atomic and subatomic particles somehow rearranging themselves and then coming out into a different reality. And it's going to take some time, but really I've got to get my mindset into that reality where I'm pursuing my goals. I've got a good career going, I'm making friends, I'm in a relationship, and that's just going to come through going on a spiritual journey. And I'm going to try to start adopting a more vegan diet, cutting out especially red meat. And it's going to be hard at first. I might just, if I'm going to try to get any kind of meat, I'm going to limit it to seafood. But yeah, I figure, small increments, baby steps. But I think that is a ticket, is me embarking on a serious spiritual journey, really becoming one with nature and looking to the beyond, realizing that there's more to this life than just this current existence. And I think that's going to kind of help me to just kind of be at peace with myself. And I think that's when things will start falling into place. And who knows, maybe I will change the reality I'm living in. Because here's the thing. It seems like when it comes to treating mental illness, the first thing that they like to do is pretty much try all these different kinds of medications with little to no success. And then they might try what seems to be really common is cognitive behavioral therapy. But the problem with that is, they tell you, okay, you feel bad about yourself. You feel like you're ugly. Well, you got to think to yourself, you're not ugly. The problem with that is with mental illness and why people develop a low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, is some of it might be genetic, but a lot of it's environmental, whether it's how you were brought up or the people you were around growing up or certain events in your life. There's a reason why people, start suffering from self-esteem issues or self-confidence issues. People don't just all of a sudden wake up one day and be like, they're not going to go to bed one night and be like, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm pretty attractive. They're not going to wake up the next day and be like, God, I am so ugly. Why am I so ugly? Why am I such a loser? People don't just all of a sudden spontaneously come up with those feelings. There is a sociological component, otherwise known as an environmental component, as to why people start developing these feelings. And you can do all the cognitive therapy, all the dialectical behavioral therapy, but if there's a sociological component, if people are actually thinking that about a particular individual, then you can do all the cognitive therapy, all the therapy you want, and it's going to be futile. It's going to be no effect. So it all comes down to really changing my reality and going to the deep, to the roots. Maybe utilizing Western medicine when needed, but really focusing on the deep roots, using that mind-body connection. And as I wrap up this blog, I found something interesting that I read in an article, and how it was mentioning that humans may be reaching their physical potential when it comes to athletics. World records, they're not being broken as frequently as they were a few years ago. And now they're considering looking to the brain and tapping into areas of the brain and perhaps, enter a new frontier. And I think that's what mental health needs to do. I think they really need to start embarking into that new frontier, really tapping in, because for one thing, physical activity is it's so undermined when it comes to mental health. They don't prescribe any kind of exercise program. It's just simply shoving pills, down your throat and hoping that you can get by with a therapy session, if you're lucky, once every couple of weeks. That ain't going to do it. I think they need to start incorporating a holistic approach, physical activity, meditation. Okay, maybe some people aren't spiritual, but find something that's going to help that person maybe look to nature. For myself, I'm becoming really spiritual. I was brought up Catholic, and I've kind of, I would still affiliate myself with that, but really I'm kind of like really more spiritual. I'll save that for a different kind of blog, but really, I just like to say I'm really spiritual. I do believe there is much more than this existence. And so with that being said, yeah, it's been quite a day. I could have been sitting at home, moping and groping, thinking to myself, another holiday by myself. But it's going to get to the point where it's like, I've got to do something, and I've got to really take control and embark on a new frontier and embark on on a good, powerful spiritual journey. So with all that being said, I'm going to go finish off my physical activity for today, my exercise, and then I'm going to make the other video of what I did today. Just like, the highlights, so it's not too long of a video. And other than that, yep. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna plop down here and just kind of do a little 5-minute meditation and then continue on with my day. So thank you once again for listening to one of my blogs. Gotta start doing a few more blogs. I know it's kind of my content seems like it's kind of gotten a bit dry, but anyways, thank you guys for joining on my journey to success. I wish you guys out there success in your journeys and overcoming any obstacles you guys may be facing in life. So enjoy the rest of your 4th, wherever you're at, and look above. All right, peace out.